YouTube! Maybe you move this mic a wee bit closer. Sorry, headphone users. Might have made a bit of a difference. Yeah, so time to say goodbye to an old friend. This is my Washburn, George Washburn signature series G15V with the most amazing paint job ever, which is obviously not showing up here, right? But see, it's kind of looks like it's been covered in splats, and on the back. Ridiculous. So this is a 1987 top of the range Washburn guitar. It's got its own page in the catalogue if you look it up online. It's a super strat. This is, I was thinking about this and my West Tone Pantera are kind of looking at it. I don't think Ibanez, obviously king of the shred guitars, hadn't yet won in 1987. That was when they brought out the Gem, you know, the Steve Vai guitar. So Washburn and West Tone were still in the fight. So they were producing similar ideas. So you've got basically the ultimate super strat, really, don't you? It's got a pointy head. It's actually an angled back headstock as well. So they're all these super strat things. This just says screams super strat all over the place. So you angle back head. You got a lock-in Floyd Rose, a Gotoh one. It's a Washburn 600T. In many ways better than most Floyd Rose. You don't actually have to cut the ball ends off. It's got like a, you string it through the back like a strat, and it's got like a wee clamp that comes down on the top, so you don't, you have that wee stupid bit of metal that you always fidget with, try to, you know, when you Floyd Rose owners will know this. Also, what's the thing, this Floyd Rose, you want to get the trem arm so it's super tight. It's actually got a wee Allen bolt that just tightens onto it. Why don't all trems have that? You know, rather than being like, oh, you turn it round and it's like, you know, you get it tight, but it's away down here somewhere. No, this one, you can make it as tight as you want. It's like, yay! So it's like, it's instantaneous. You know, you can do the brrr thing. Really thin neck, sharp tooth inlays, 24 frets, humbucker single layout, which you can't see because of the colour. Switches instead of a 5-way lever, so you've got basically you can have like the outside 2 pickups on, or all 3 on, sort of thing. More tonal options. Maybe not as easy to switch between them, but I think if you just got used to it, you'd have no issues with it. I'm just used to slam the pickup down to the bottom, bridge pickup. You know, you can batter it a bit, whereas this you got to remember, and it's down for on. Otherwise, the danger, I think, actually the reason I stopped doing it is you can turn the guitar off, which it's fine when you turn the guitar off, but not when you're in a solo. You come up for your solo and it's like, you're right, I'll just turn on the other switch, and if you accidentally bang the wrong switch and you turn the guitar off so you're in silence. So that would be the downside, whereas at least on a 5-way switch, it's like, oh, I meant to choose the bridge position and I didn't actually push it far enough, so I'm in the middle position. At least the guitar's still on. Whereas in this one, there is a possibility of going up your big bit and then turning it off by mistake. So does that count as a negative thing? So we've also got a push-pull pot on the volume which splits the humbucker into singles, so it does all the strat, and a tone. And this is, although the knob looks wrong, it's actually correct because it's not a normal knob. This has got a battery box on the back, which is the only bit that's not original because it didn't have a battery box, so I cut it out of a record and stuck it on. It's only a plastic cover. So this is a variable mid-boost circuit, which if you look in the bump, it's exactly where the distortion is. So it kind of, to be honest, kind of does work that way. So I've stood in the lead. The lead goes in a funny place. Not sure I'm not sure I like it, but I understand why they've done it. They've done it because obviously the battery runs down. It's got a stereo jack socket, so you have to plug the lead in to turn on the battery. But it means you can't lean it against the wall, which is, lean it again, you know, sit it on the ground. Unless you've got it kind of depends what the end of your lead looks like. But, you know, there's a reason for that. So as I was saying there about the distortion, that's the clean channel, my wee laney there. And then if you turn up the gain, it kind of boosts a very specific frequency. It's one of those things that, to be honest, I'm not sure you're not just going to have it on full bung all the time. Especially if you're doing a shreddy solo, which is what this guitar's for. It's got the lowest action I've ever managed to achieve in a guitar. I've got my wee thing, I'll actually measure it. It says here 1.5 to 2 millimeters is what you want, or is the setting up thing. But if I look at this, and where's the thing in millimeters? We're currently kitting in at 1. It's able to hold 1 millimeter and still play. You could almost even argue that was near a 0.75. Pure stupidly low action, but still rings out and plays. You know, obviously you can set any guitar with that action and it's just. But this one. So go for my normal favourite position is position 4, which is the 2 neck ones. You get that. Now obviously you got your mid boost, you can get in there. Position 2 as well, which involves a little bit of switch flicking with no boost. Okay, it makes it louder as well. Bucker. Right. The boost off. Boost back on again. So, why am I selling it? And the ultimate answer is I don't play it. It's too turbocharged for me. This is, I kind of feel a bit unworthy, to be honest. It goes much faster than I can do. If you're, it's kind of what it's for, you know. Maybe just a little bit intimidated by it. Also, The paint job is just something else. I think I remember trying another Washburn. Was it a G5? I went to try it from the same year. Nothing like this. If you've come to this video thinking, oh, Washburn G something, still actually technically called the Force series at this point, even though it's got nothing to do with the actual Force series, which was a few years earlier. Nothing like this. This is a completely different level from the other G series. I think the 15 is still Japanese. The only guitar that you get that really looks like this is the EC. So you get like a 29 fret and a 36 fret one, which are basically this guitar, but the neck comes to here or here. So obviously the 29 fret one's only got one pickup. This pickup, same electrics, and it's the only guitar I've ever seen with this silly paint job on it. I'm not sure exactly where they were made. By the time it got to 87, most of the companies were starting to go to Korea for the cheap. Not wanting to slag, I'm sorry if you got one. They're fine, they're alright. But there was a huge drop in quality for cheap guitars. Things like that Roadster and stuff like that. I mean, that was not an expensive guitar new, but it's Japanese built, so it's super quality. And even like the West, in fact, all the ones you can see on the wall there, apart from the white one. All of them are all Japanese, superior build quality, same as this. But this era is a real. There's so many guitars that none that look like this. The whole idea of having shark fin inlays and the pointy headstock. Obviously, there was a lot of cheap guitars that had this sort of styling, more styling rather than build quality, and a lot of them are really crap. And this is really good. It's really nothing like it. It's the total top of the range. It feels really expensive. I mean, you're easily up over $1,000 to get a guitar like this. You're over 1,500 quid to get a guitar like this new. Look at Ibanez Prestige, Team J Craft. That's when you're at this sort of level. But I don't know. There's something. It's too modern for me. It sounds ridiculous. I know. I like guitars sort of up till 1986, but 1986, 1987, they started making all the guitars look like this. And maybe it's just because there's so many guitars that are stylistically similar to this, even Arias and Washburns and all that are way cheaper. I mean, cheaper to buy, but just in the actual build quality, it's like the amount of time spent on those was less than half the amount of time spent building this. Because I mean, obviously you've got to start off with good quality parts, but you've got to have somebody that really knows how to put them together. It's a case of putting a guitar together. Here we go, bump, 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 bump. Next, this one's been built by somebody who could build guitars. That's why it plays the way it does. Huge frets, binding, and 24 frets on a Strat, which it's quite a traditional Stratty shape. It's slightly pointier, I think, but still a Strat. And as I said, it does everything a Strat does. All you do is turn down the boost thing, pop up the volume control to turn this into a single coil, and you've got a Strat. But you've got a Strat that's got a built-in Gilmore switch. So a Strat doesn't do neck and bridge together. This one does. Or all three pickups on. So I don't know what the pickup combinations are. Quite a few. Just amazing how it's like look at it. I'm going to do a video on the West tones, that one and that one, which doesn't look blue. It looks black there, but it's blue. How the options, because I mean obviously you've got your 5 standard Strat sounds, but then you've got 2 of them that you can make into single coil, so that's 5, 6, 7, and then you've got neck and bridge together, 8, neck and bridge together, but this is a humbucker, 9, all 3 on, but this is a single coil, 10, all 3 on, but this is a humbucker, 11, so it's got 11 sounds stock, and it doesn't have a vast array of components to do this. You've just got a switch for each pickup, which is simple. Obviously, you can never get these. You'll never find these switches either. They've got the square heads on them and they're black. You can find them, but they're £30 each to buy now. You can buy silver ones for 50, or maybe not 50p, £1.50 or something like that. But you can't buy ones with the square heads on them, which are much nicer. So I hope this is going to a good home. It's going to somebody I know, so I think I'm doing a very stupidly good deal on it. But I want it to go to someone that's going to not just punt it on for twice what I sold it, because there is always that danger. I've sold guitars like that before. You know, you say if you sell them on eBay to an anonymous person, it's like, oh, I'm really interested in this guitar. Oh, yeah, cool. And then you see it a week later for twice the price. You're just like, bastard. They'd obviously just bought it thinking, oh, I can make money on that. I wanted to go to someone who can actually use it. And the guy I know is into, I want really looking for like a shredder, one with a tremolo, and for getting into doing it's like, honestly, you're not going to get a guitar better than this. The more I play it, the more I don't want to sell it. But I've got to. I can't. I've got to specialise more. There was a point when I specialised in 80s Japanese guitars, so it's like that meant I could get rid of anything that wasn't 80s Japanese, and now it's just, man, so many guitars. And I'm not doing it justice. I mean, I honestly haven't played this for like, I don't know if you look at the videos I've done of it. That was the last 2 times I played it. One like 2 years ago and one 3 years ago. The strings on it were elixirs and probably the strings that I put on it when I got it. This was the first guitar I had that actually understood that a Floyd Rose can be a good thing rather than it just being a pure nightmare. Because it's a quality for Floyd Rose. You know, it's like you're buying a guitar for 120 quid, 150 quid. Like a Japanese Floyd Rose costs 300. So how good is the Floyd Rose that's in that cheapy guitar? And the answer is that yes, you can make them work sort of. They wear out really quickly. And they can sort of work, sort of. But basically, if you're looking at a guitar sub 300 quid, you don't get one with a Floyd Rose. That's why I used to always go for Telecasters when I was buying them in China, because a Telecaster bridge is just it's just a bent piece of metal with saddles on it. There's not really anything you can get wrong, whereas a Floyd Rose has lots and lots of components, and all those components have to be pretty much exactly the right size to fit together, and there's very little tolerance in all these parts. So like a good Floyd Rose is way even a good Strat trim. The Strat trim on that's not really a Strat trim, it's got like a mad thing that holds tune, just because it's an expensively well built one. It's very different from the cheapy one, which doesn't, the accuracy is just not there. It costs half as much, and also the quality of the components. When this will have like a proper steel, you know, it's like a steel base plate and stuff like that. It's not your pot metal stuff, which I suppose if you're playing it for 6 months, the pot metal probably won't wear out, but once it gets to 5-10 years old, you're seeing that an awful lot with guitars from the 80s and 90s. Oh, it's got a Floyd Rose, needs set up, and the Floyd Rose is just all mashed. You know, especially if someone's been in trying to adjust it. You know, it's like, oh, they've overturned one of the things. If you overturn like one of the Allen key things, it just strips because it's not made of proper metal. All that, and also like the actual points where the bridge rests on the bridge posts, you want to have that made of solid metal. Actually, the Ibanez Edge, their idea was, if you look at them, they've actually got a separate piece of metal that kind of slots in that's replaceable, or it's not, I don't know if it's replaceable, but it's like made of titanium or something like that, so they don't have to make the whole plate. But the bit that actually, I told you, the bit that actually touches the posts is an extreme metal, whereas this would just be a solid steel plate. Not as cheap a way of doing it. And even just looking at the only piece of wood you can see is the fretboards, and it's like, you don't get rosewood like that in guitars anymore. You know, it's like a proper expensive piece of furniture looking rosewood, which doesn't make it sound any better. Don't know. The woods, I had the neck off as well when I was polishing up the frets, and even the wood in the body is really expensive looking. You can just tell by looking at it. It's like, don't know what it is, ash or something, mahogany, whatever it is. It's not. It's the weight wise, it sits right in the middle of the sort of, what weight is it? Not heavy, not light, in the middle, 3.5 kilograms. I'm gonna guess, which is about right, just right at the point where you don't notice it being heavy or light. That's where it sits. But yeah, so. Going to be sorry to see this go, and you'll never find another one. I've never seen another one for sale. The George Washburn Signature Series, top of the line, according to the book, as played by Dave Gilmour and Alex Lifeson from Rush. Don't remember seeing them playing one of these, but maybe they, I don't know. It's like you get sort of strange, your endorsement deals seemed awful weird back in the 80s, where it was like, Washburn were really good at it. Previous to this, there's pictures of Andy Summers from the Police playing Washburns in areas and stuff like that. And I think literally the up here. Do you want this? I've got this guitar. I'll give you. Do you want, if you use it for something you're on top of the pops? Oh, you're on top of the pops next week. That's a coincidence. That's not why I phoned you. Do you want this guitar? You can have it if you use it on top of the pops, kind of thing. So you see that him using his Aria Pros and all that, and I think there was a little bit of that as well. Although Washburn did have a huge artist roster from their festival acoustics, because they were the first ones that really made an acoustic guitar with a proper piezo pickup in it that you could use on stage. So it's like if you go like the MTV Unplugged era, everyone is playing, apart from Kurt Cobain, because he's quite famously using some horrible thing with humbuckers nailed it and stuff, but nearly all the bands are using Washburn Festival acoustics because they're the first real electroacoustic guitar. So they had a lot of stuff like that. They really made an arse of the company, to be honest. Why are they not a big massive company like Ibanez just now? And it's like, I suppose they must have had bad business decisions. They're still about Washburn, but they don't have the clout that they used to have. I mean, they were one of the big brands at this time, and this was their flagship. So there's actually a video. I can't remember what it's. Song for Europe by, I can't remember what band it is, from 1987, and the guitarist playing one of these, this guitar, but not with a cool paint job on it, and it's a terrible song. It's like pure 80s hair rock. Doesn't really seem to have any guitar in it, or if it does, it's like strummed with tons of chorus, more synthesizer-y based, but he's still playing the guitar, wearing the sort of, the Armani trench coat and the mullet and the cowboy boots and stuff like that. Worth looking up. Just slightly past my era. I like the. Oh, it's awful good. I told the guy, I was like, oh, I've got one I'm going to sell. It's like a shreddy one you might like, and then I played it even before it, with the strings that are 5 years old on it. I was playing it going, I can't sell this. It's pure amazing, and it is. But I'm stopping someone else having it. I've really got to try and reduce my guitar collection. That's why one of the reasons I keep rotating things around, just to try and get rid of the ones that I don't play, because no one can have it. There's no reason for having as many guitars as I have. So I've really just got to try and pick the ones I really, really, really like. But that doesn't work because I really, really like this one as well. Really thin neck on it, really great for. In fact, the chap's always moaning about having small hands. This would be an absolute dream for him. I think I like a fatter neck, but I'm not one for. Oh, I've got a specific neck profile I like. It depends which guitar it is. I like the Roadster because it's got like a very stratty neck on it, and so does that one. And then that's got like a Gibson-y neck, but I really like that as well. It's like they're different guitars. They do different things, sort of. Even though they're all from the same era and have very similar pickups. Yeah. So, sorry to see it go, but needs must. He's not getting this fancy. This strap cost me 25 quid. So he's not getting that. He's getting one of those roto sound ones you get free with. I get free with strings. Rock on. Catch you later.